Hey gang, welcome back to Death Curse Society. We've got some more stories around the campfire. Another Shudder exclusive that we got to check out and we're going to review for you right now is called The Power. Set in London in 1974, as Britain prepares for electrical blackouts to sweep across the country, trainee nurse Val arrives for her first day at the crumbling East London Royal Infirmary. With most of the patients and staff evacuated to another hospital, Val is forced to work the night shift in the empty building. Within these walls lies a deadly secret, forcing Val to face her own traumatic past in order to confront the malevolent force that's intent on destroying everything around her. Interesting setup, but does it pay off? Colonel, get us started on this one.
The Power. Man, I thought this movie was going to be fucking great. First thoughts after viewing, man, I mean, for one, it's not abandoned. I mean, there's a handful of people in there, not a lot. There's still a few. Very predictable. I didn't even read the synopsis going into it, honestly. I just watched it because I was like, I'm pumped. Like, this one looked good. This looked like a good ghost movie, man. And I was let down in so many ways.
How about you, Ziggy? Initial thoughts on The Power?
I hate it when you can sum up a movie in a word. Meh. But it's kind of what it is here. However, if you've ever worked in a place like a library or in a big factory or something at night, you were like one of the few skeleton crew people. There is something to be said for that because there's a whole lot of walking around dark hallways and basements in this movie, which actually is quite effective.
Mm-hmm.
But the payoffs are not very good here, and meh.
The setup for this, another period piece placed in 1974, London, during a coal miners' strike, which causes blackouts all over the country. You have a hospital, leaving that in the dark. How has this not been done before? You know? What's not to like about that? It's a perfect fucking setup for a horror film. This film sets a good atmosphere with the set and direction. I thought technical aspects of it worked very well. Story-wise, there's some weak spots there. Ziggy, you want to talk about some of the story and the weak spots in that?
I do believe there's some heavy underlining messages in there that they're bringing out. There's good moments in it, man, but just some of the things they do. The thing with the little girl, you know, that's like the interactions with the staff that are on site. It doesn't give much to the story to where you end up. That's, I guess, the best way I can put it without saying too much.
Okay, so maybe not enough story for an hour and a half long film. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, they probably could have wrapped. This could have been like a 1 hour movie. It would have probably improved it quite a bit because you can only ride that tension of walking in them dark hallways for so long before something's got to break out that takes you to the next step.
The weakest spot for me was, granted, we all know these paranormal movies are so predictable. For me, though, this one was very predictable. It's just by the way they set everything up. I mean, I'm with Crank. It was a great setup. It was great. It had all the makings to be really good. It's just like they had the perfect location and not the perfect story. I really appreciate how, you know, our main character, she's getting pulled in hallways, or there's this one scene where the back of her dress is getting lifted up. And right there, I'm like, okay, she's going to get possessed and it's going to be a ghost saying how it got raped. Boom. That's a spoiler alert. There you go. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to spoil this one right on the fucking nose. I should have said spoiler. I should have gave you advance notice. I wasn't thinking. That's such a great location, and the setup was just so predictable. I really think they dropped the ball. Now, well, I'd be upset if someone said, okay, we're going back to 1974 England, rolling blackouts. We're in this hospital and making a true paranormal film, non-possession. This would probably get 2 thumbs up for me because I think, oh, it's such a good idea. They just didn't do a good job with it.
The story, it has a few twists that kept me interested, but there was one scene that I thought near the end that seemed too cliche. Pretty sure you know what I'm talking about, but I will say it. The final possession. That hurt this movie for me a lot in the score. So up until then, I was in. I was ready. Colonel, Did that affect you as much as it did me?
Oh God, yes. Now I'll be honest, I probably wasn't enjoying this movie as much as you were up to this point.
Probably.
But it had my attention, and I bought into the story. It's just like events even leading up to it. And you had your bitch nurse who's been there for a while, and then it's like, okay, I guess you got to change of heart once the lights came back on. I don't know. Maybe she's just having a bad day. Like Crank said, the final possession scene. I could recreate that motherfucker with a fucking lamp. All right, that's where I was just like, oh
yeah. It was too much The Exorcist, like the take me, at that point, and that bothered me.
It was bad.
Yeah, Ziggy, what were your thoughts on that?
This is an example of when you didn't need to get that on the nose finish like that because you already figured it out. You just don't need these things explained to you like a simpleton. Then that's what they did. They went and took it like you couldn't have figured out any of this on your own and just batted you over the head with the obvious. After all this and everything we've shown you here, you still haven't figured it out. Well, we're ripping off The Exorcist. Sorry.
Just for a little bit.
Just for a little bit. Scene, one key plot moment. That's
right.
all.
What happens after that, I liked. What happened before that, I liked. But that just her asking for it irritated me. I don't know why. Well, no, I do know why. Because it shouldn't have been done. It should have just happened naturally and not her asking for it. That definitely took at least one full point of my score for this one. Because up until then, I was digging this flick. I kind of liked the ending without saying too much. And the way they tied the whole story together, I did. I know it was kind of weak, but I liked it. Although it was an obvious mystery, they do solve the mystery that's lurking in the shadows. And I like the way they kind of wrapped it up for as weak of a story as it was. One other thing I want to talk about was the sound design in this was creepy as fuck. Just one example I'll use is every time they're in the intensive care area, the ICU, you can hear just very understated the breathing machines, going on in the background. And sometimes they're in sync, sometimes they're not. It's just fucking creepy, man. Did that latch onto you guys as well, Ziggy?
That was good, but what was cool in that realm for me was the red light near the generators. Mm-hmm. Every time she walked by there, those hallways, that shit was fucked up, dude. I mean, there was nothing going on, and it was scary as hell.
We can't really get out specifics, but I thought the score played well to the film. It really built the tension and the sense of dread and fear. I mean, they did a great job.
I'll say this too. I agree. This soundtrack. I mean, I just talked about a quick scene where there was you could hear the whirring of the generators when she walks by, but there's this ominous red light pops on like every 3 seconds. Musically, this movie, it was refreshing to hear something that wasn't a blatant ripoff of Carpenter or borrowed a little bit from Elfman or something like that. It's straight up original and it fits this piece beautifully.
One last thing I want to talk about with this was Rose Williams, the actress who plays Val. Dude, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's the nurse outfit. There's just something I loved about her and her character and the way she pulled this off. Timid, yes. Trying to conform with the way she's supposed to be at this hospital as the first dayer. Also spreading her wings a little bit whenever she's encouraged to. There was just something about her character that just really caught me. Did you feel that at all, Colonel, or was it just, eh?
It's just, man, I mean, I'm not going to say she did a bad job. She did a good job. I think she did great. I think maybe for me, the character is a little too naive, if that makes sense, for me to really want to latch on to her as a character and see where she went on this journey. I was just kind of like, oh, well, fuck you. You get possessed. It's just, that's just it.
Yeah, she was good. We write a story where actually the character is relevant and you can stay focused in on without fucking any effort. Then absolutely, she kept it captivated. She kept it going. And you were on her a lot. Like I said, lots of walking around in the dark. She's kind of hearing things and feeling things and wind and stuff and reacting to it. And it's cool. This is good. This is how it should be done.
Well, maybe part of it for me, at least, is, we've seen a lot of movies lately that rely heavily on one actor or one actress. Most of the time lately, it's been one actress. You know, The Banishing, earlier that we reviewed, strongly relied on Jessica Brown Findlay. The Stylist that we watched a few weeks ago relied heavily on a central one primary female character. Several other movies, Nightmare Wakes, several other movies. This one, to me, really delivered it with this actress. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just being acclimated because we're watching so many horror films that feature female leads heavily. I dug Rose Williams' performance in this. I'll leave it at that. All right, time to give it a number. Colonel, rate The Power.
You want a numbers, you son of a bitch, you get the number. I don't know why I went like that, but fuck it, it doesn't matter.
Hey.
The Power. Hey, forget about it. I don't even know what fucking voice I'm doing. Wah, I don't care. So The Power was, a fairly enjoyable movie. I followed along. I didn't zone out and Google. Everything was fucking accurate to the time. It just very predictable. The predictability there kind of ruined the ending for me, where it's just kind of meh. And overall, I think the movie was just meh. That being said, I'd still probably give it about a 5.5. It was a little better than average. Wouldn't strongly suggest it, but it's a possession movie. It's entertaining. Give it a watch.
Can't really say it better myself. If you're into possession type movies, you'll probably find enough in this to where you'll be entertained and you'll dig it. I myself, in the same as Colonel, I found it a little bit predictable and just above average, man. I got to stay with the same score, 5.5.
Well, like I said, the cliche Exorcist ripoff near the end did hurt its score on this one. But up until that point, and even afterwards, I liked this movie. Originally, I gave this a higher rating. I need to drop it a little bit, and I'm not much, but it's going to be a 6.5 from me. I love shit like this, and you guys know this. I like the thinking, weird, deep intention movies. They hit me a little bit differently. Yeah, The Power. It's available on Shudder now. Go check it out. Let us know what you think, and come back and let's talk about it. Well, that's a wrap on Stories Around the Campfire for that. We're going to have some more for you, though, real soon.
I love you.
I heard you telling your friends to come over here and you're going to smoke some weed.
No.
That Alakazam?
Julian, I'm talking about like a magic trick, like abracadabra.
I know you're talking about smoking weed. Don't lie to me. That's against the rules. I'm telling my mom.
Well, I'm going to tell your mom about your browser history.
You better not.
You can get me in trouble, I can get you in trouble. You used to be my favorite, but now you're like my 10th favorite boy that I nanny. And I babysit some fucking loser kids.
If I had some other kind of babysitter, she'd be reading me a story. I wouldn't be up clipping my nasty ass toenails.
Go to bed.
Hi, my name's Jabril Nantambu, and you're watching Death Curse Society.
Death Curse Society has just become an associate producer on the film.
Yes.
Bravo. Death Curse Society, guys, is so awesome. I met the guys, all three of the guys, at Indianapolis last year for Horror Hound. And I met those dudes, and I gotta tell you, like, I hung out with them, we took pictures, I signed some stuff, they gave me a t-shirt. It was awesome. They are awesome guys. So super cool. I am so glad to have them on board this campaign and also on board the film. And now they are going to be IMDb credited as producers on this movie.
What up? It's the Colonel Death Curse Society. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I punched the numbers in my computer. The computer don't lie. If you don't subscribe and watch more videos, you may be a dead fuck. So be sure to click over here for more videos from Death Curse Society.